think of myself as one of the cool adults. You remember when you were a kid, there were always the cool adults that you spoke to who were different than your parents? Your parents would always say, "It was so much better in my day! Bread only cost a nickel, gas was only a quarter. Candy bars apparently were the size of a city block, and they used to give you money to take them off the hands of the shopkeeper." Not only that, but they would tell you how, "You kids are spoiled! Why, they had to walk to school 450 miles uphill both ways in the snow without shoes." It seems every generation gets caught up in telling the next generation how much nicer it was when they were kids and how the new generation is spoiled. I even find myself doing this when I see kids rolling through supermarkets on Heelys. "In my day, we actually had to walk down the aisles." Or recounting the wonders of playing original Nintendo when I was a kid. What does this have to do with tough questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, you ask? Every meeting when I was a witness had at least one mention that we're in the time of the end. And one of the most famous scriptures that I heard constantly was generation advancing from bad to worse, children being disobedient to parents, so on and so forth. This would usually be when our parents' generation would tell the aforementioned stories about being beaten around the head and face with a live shark as punishment for anything they did wrong. And they liked it. It was good for them or something. The current generation being so disobedient and advancing to worse was proof that we are indeed in the time of the end. Now, I want you to listen to this quote. "The children now love luxury. They have bad manners, contempt for authority. They show disrespect for elders and love chatter in the place of exercise. Children are now tyrants, not the servants of their households. They no longer rise when the elders enter the room. They contradict their parents, chatter before company, gobble up dainties at the table, cross their legs, and tyrannize their teachers." Who said that quote? No, it wasn't Jerry Falwell. Not Pat Robertson either. The author of that quote was Socrates. It sounds to me like he was saying the same thing about ancient Greek children that our parents said about us, and that we're now saying about our children. Now, when bringing evidence like this to a Jehovah's Witness, it would usually be turned as proof that we're in the time of the end as well. While that scripture being fulfilled in our day is proof that we're in the time of the end, that quote and others like it from ancient times show that back then they were also in the time of the end. And it really shows that now we're even closer to the time of the end. How can that be, though? How long is the time of the end? The time of the end has been going on since ancient Greece. How about longer? There's a pretty famous letter that you can look up online, which was written by a spoiled brat in ancient Egypt. It sounds like something a child would write nowadays, threatening to run away from home. Does the time of the end go that far back? So, tough question number 42 is, how can this generation's bad behavior be a sign of the time of the end, and at the same time, former generations' similar bad behavior be a sign of the time of the end as well?